Good morning. Today we make some much needed upgrades to our castle. Welcome back to MorningCraft. So, ages ago I built this castle, and while it's pretty cool, the inside is completely empty. The back of the castle is also lacking some serious detail, except for the ones that Raina Zufall put in for us. And so I came back to this unfurnished mess to give it a proper interior. I started off with a nice pathway here, and then some floors inside. I then also added a little bit of lighting, but now we've got some floors and some lighting. I think it's time to increase the FOV and try making a beautiful interior. So, there we go. It's a little bit better and we can see a little bit more. And with our newfound field of view, let's get to the upgrades. I went ahead and replaced these boring white walls with something a little bit more interesting. I added this cool pathway into the next building, which also has some floors. I don't end up working on this next room, but I did put some floors in, so it's definitely got some potential now. But I went ahead and added a mezzanine to the main room over here, and that's going to go between the two sets of windows so that each are accessible. And there we have it. I added a cool staircase between the ground floor and the mezzanine, and a bunch of pillars to make the walls a little bit more interesting. I also added some pretty cool plant designs. And with all of these changes, those bland white walls were starting to look a little bit better, but there was still a bunch of work to do. If this is going to be a castle, it's going to need a throne. And so I built a throne and added in some access to the main tower. We've also got some pretty cool stained glass windows behind the throne, as well as some more supports and pillars on the wall behind it. Quite a fan of this throne. I think it matches the green, white and brown aesthetic we have so far for Thaldrum. Flowers and the plant life really add to the build. We've also got this cool staircase leading up into the main tower, which until now has been completely inaccessible. I added a few more details with these plants, tables, chairs, and a few paintings dotted around. Now this hall is feeling like somewhere you could have a banquet, or a party, or some kind of feast. And on each pass around the room, I added more and more details to really encapsulate this feeling of busyness. But before we move on to the next room, let me know what you think of this build in the comments down below. And just quickly, let's go to a story.
Mayor Jansen of Laddergen summoned the remaining pirates that used to follow Landerstone. They were in disarray and at each other's throats. He offered his help as a new leader, a proposition they all rejected in fits of laughter. Even with the possibility of King Olaf's captured pirates coming for them, they would still rather bicker and stand alone.
Hey, boom, we're back. And we got a throne filled with people now. We've got the Earl sitting there, we've got the taxman being used as a poison tester, and then a few friends gathered round for a lovely meal. And of course, we've returned the Thaldrum banner to its rightful place, which is everywhere. It's a pretty nice banner, and it makes for a pretty nice detail. You can see how the mezzanine looks down over the throne room now. It's definitely the perfect place if you want to have a quiet conversation away from the dinner party. You could also probably do a bit of a red wedding situation from here. If you've seen Game of Thrones, you'll know what that is. If you haven't, don't look it up because you'll spoil it. But now it's time to move on to this tower. You can see it's a pretty big, pretty beautiful tower, but it's completely filled in inside. And of course, I had to hollow this out so we could turn it into somewhere to live. This is probably going to be the Earl's private bedroom, and it's got this cool staircase up into the second tower. So let's go ahead and do a little room makeover so that this amazing tower with a lovely view of the cathedral can look as good as it can possibly be. And here we have it. I've copied the white and green colour scheme all the way up the tower and into this little office area. We've got plants galore, as well as some nice green windows, and now a pretty cool frame for the bed that incorporates a lot of plants too. And now this sort of tower, this sort of private bedroom looks pretty good. It's definitely a nice, relaxing place to escape from all the things going on in the city. I definitely live here. I'm not the biggest fan of heights, so I probably wouldn't, especially not if you see the entrance into the building, which I'll show you after this quick story segment.
The Emperor of Sakurajima arrived with samurai. The pirates were strong, but standing next to armored samurai on land, they were incredibly weak. The Emperor informed the pirates that each of their ships would carry 10 Sakurajima samurai, and any insubordination against Mayor Jansen's orders would be treated as treason. With that, the Pirate Corps of Dawn was built and ready to counter Olaf's captured pirates. Would this pirate corps be able to face the Valkyria Sovereign, the largest ship in the whole ocean? Only time could tell, but Mayor Jansen requested the dog prepare a completed map of the continent so plans could be made.
Yep, so I built this pretty cool sort of ladder leading up, which would honestly terrify me in real life, given that it's so high up, but I think it looks pretty good. It adds that little bit of extra detail to the tower as well, and it means I don't have to carve a hole for a staircase anywhere in the bottom of what is now a lovely, lovely little tower penthouse apartment. With, might I add, a wonderful view of the cathedral. And so, with the changes to the castle done, I was pretty pleased with all my efforts. I did think about building a room in the tower for the dog, but I think the dog would be more happy in his current home, which he shares with Clara Clark, the town administrator, and of course Seymour the rabbit. I think the dog would enjoy the extra freedoms he has to muck around and do silly things. Definitely couldn't be doing this in a castle. So thank you so much for watching. I hope you've had a really, really good morning, and I hope you enjoyed the episode. Let me know what you think of the 2 builds we've done in today's episode. And if you're new here, why not? Why not subscribe? Why not? Anyway, I've been sort of rushing because I've been editing some pretty cool stuff for next week. Fingers crossed I get it all done and I'm happy for it to go out. I don't want to waste the raw content I've got, so I might delay, but only if I have to. But either way, if you're watching this on the day it's released, or even a couple days after, it's either about to be or is the weekend. So I hope you have a really good weekend. I hope you do some fun things, go see some people, Or if you can't do fun things and see people, I hope you get a lot done that's productive. Or what else could you possibly do on a weekend? Whatever it is you're doing, do it to the fullest, you know? Go out there and just really do it, you know? If you're robbing a bank, I wouldn't recommend that. But if you are, like, make sure you get all the money in the bank. You know, like, don't half it. Don't half do it. Like, we're talking full send. Hopefully not in a criminal way, but like, even if you're just going for a run, full send. You know what I'm saying?